Good morning, LinkedIn family. It's time for another Coffee with Bob. And today I'm very happy. I've been very lucky lately. I've been introducing people that are new connections with mine or new followers of mine. So for me, that's very exciting because I get to learn along with everybody else. So today I've got the honor and pleasure of speaking with Keziah Robinson. And
Kezia, but almost there. Almost
I
there.
knew I was going to do that. I was really close. And
Sorry.
Kezia and I have a lot of connections in common, so that was kind of fun. That's kind of fun to learn. Leslie August, who I'm going to have on here soon, and a whole bunch of others. Kezia, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited. Um, Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing.
Okay, well, thanks for Bob for having me. And I got to imagine everybody's got a bunch of contacts in common with you because you know pretty much everyone.
Thank you. Yeah.
So I'm a small business coach. I work with small business owners to really help them just stop playing small ball, take it up to the next level. And it's been a really interesting time, as you can imagine. It's tough for everyone out there, but it's just been really fascinating to work with small businesses right now and see how they're changing and help them kind of transform and adapt as they're going forward.
Cool. And that brings up an interesting question. See, I live in the Chicagoland area, so one of our neighbors, Kenosha, was
Mm-hmm.
just devastated recently with riots that you would never think would happen in a city like Kenosha. And it's just Kenosha is just brimming with small businesses, and these guys are really looking for answers and are suffering. What would you suggest to them, or how do you think, what kind of help could you give them?
Well, I think step one is always to have some compassion, right? And that we often come at things being really, really focused on like exactly what's happening to us, and that we can kind of miss some of the larger context, larger picture. So one of these things with the rioting is to think about it very much in the context of, people are angry, and most of us, were we in the same situation as white people, would also be extremely angry, and that they don't always behave. There isn't a right way to protest, right? Because you're always, I think this is, Noah, Trevor Noah said this, you're protesting against something. There's no right way to do that from the context of the people who are being protested against, right? So I think number one is just to have a little compassion, because you are asking communities to have compassion for you as you're working through your challenges as a business. The next one is really to just assess, like, where are you on this type of an issue? Like, are you engaging with your community? If you have not been engaging with your community, and now all you're coming out with is, why have you been damaging my business? It's like, well, where have you been in this cycle? I think a lot of business owners have been engaging, and that's what's tough, is you feel like, hey, these are my people. I've been out there in this community. And again, it's to just come back and say, like, what is within my control? What are the things I can control? Maybe it is shutting down for a period of time. Maybe it is going out and engaging with community. Maybe whatever it is that you feel is within your control. I often say, let's get that. And then the stuff that's outside of your control, you have to push a little bit to the side. But the things that are one thing that business owners often don't do is they don't exert influence. Like they get to the chamber and all they do is talk about minimum wage or tax issues. And this is a prime example where I think forward-looking business owners are getting out there going, we have a problem when our city gets overrun by strangers coming in, right? A lot of the protests, even if they're getting ugly, are in fact at least local residents, right? But when you start having people come in who are not local, and they're starting to think that they have, as a business owner, you kind of step in and go, hey, are we going to get the chamber together? And are we going to go out and really assert that this is our town, and we need to deal with these issues, and to be active in discouraging other towns and other communities? Because I think sometimes people are like, they look the other way, they don't really step into it. So there's a lot that owners can do in the context of that, but so much of it just comes from being compassionate and understanding that, we often don't understand the people who are out in the street, we don't necessarily know where they're coming from, and to just kind of have a little compassion for the community is really important.
Well, and that's great advice. I mean, I preach that you got to, be kind, and you have to be caring and loving and compassionate and thankful and grateful for everything. But I got to imagine for the small business owner, and I have friends who are small business owners,
Yeah.
um, in Chicago that just got ransacked as well too. It's
Yeah.
hard to feel compassion when they're looting and burning down your business.
Yeah.
Protesting is great. I'm all for protesting, but when you're looting and burning businesses down, that's just pure vandalism.
And again, that gets to it is hard to feel compassion. And I think that, that there are a lot, but if you think of kind of what you're asking for always from your community, you're asking people around you, is to and I think this is a moment where we're going to see the business owners who step up, because if you can move through this, if you can handle the pandemic with calmness, right? If you're someone who can behave and navigate when you've got, this is a really unpleasant political environment where people politicize things that really aren't political, like public health or, justice and equity, but we've gotten political about them. If you are really a true leader, a great business owner, and you're really going to move through, this is the proving ground. So again, things are going to come at you that are going to seem unfair, or that are going to seem like you didn't deserve this. And it's not that you did anything that did to deserve any kind of violence to your property. But at the same time, it's happening. And how are you responding to it? Are you responding to it with anger? Your employees see that, right? And some of your employees may be in the community and they aren't happy about this, but at the same time, they may have a different degree of empathy with people on the other side of the vandalism. And so if you're kind of thinking, hey, I want to set an example that this is how we do business, it's really important. Also, a lot of people are realizing that they never check their insurance. They don't know really what their policies are. So there's also a lot of times when people are complaining about things and it's like, well, that was actually part of your responsibility as a business owner.
Right.
So stepping back and going, what didn't I know? What wasn't I prepared for? Okay, pandemic, maybe not, but a lot of people thought that their business interruption insurance was going to cover it and didn't realize that viruses had been added in and that this was going to not cover it. A lot of people weren't prepared for, how do I manage the PPP loans? How do I do this? So also using it as a litmus test to say, hey, this is stressful, but you never know when Amazon can come and crush your business, right? You never know. So you really do have to say, am I running my business well? So I think a lot of people coming to me, they lead with, I don't know what to do about the pandemic. And what we really are working on is how do you really run this business well so it can roll through? I mean, I have some clients with restaurant exposure and they're finding ways to shift the business. And that's something that there are other people with restaurant exposure who are just going under. So you have a lot of choice when things get tough. And that's really when you see, like I said, the business owners that are, they've been playing small ball and they're taking up to the big leagues. There's a big difference between that and people who are like, oh, the world isn't going my way right now. I'm just going to close down this business.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. That, I got to say, that was so insightful and that was amazing. And I think anybody listening to what you just talked about right now can learn a lot, whether they own a small business or not. That's pretty amazing. Thank you for your thoughts on this.
Well, thanks for having me.
So if anybody wants to reach out to you, I'll tag you. You're going to be tagged in the post.
Right.
Make sure they reach out to you on LinkedIn. I highly recommend that you follow or connect with Keziah.
Keziah. Okay.
I butcher names. I apologize. That you connect and follow her and actively engage with her. I mean, as you can just tell from the last 10 minutes, she's got incredible insight, and I think anyone would benefit from utilizing your services. Thank you again, Keziah.
Absolutely.
Right. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.